Hello everybody and welcome to Toy Warp Vintage Reviews. If this is your first time here, reach over, click that subscribe button and the bell icon to stay up to date on all the great toy videos we have in the works, and maybe check out some past videos as well. Make sure to check out the description below for links to the Patreon and the Toy Warp Facebook page if you want to interact with Toy Warp more. I thank you for tuning in so much and enjoy.
When the power of orange blossom unfolds, she's ripe for a meeting with big black gold. SSD, muscle machines, they're big, bad, dirty, and mean. Popping a wheelie high on her luck, and black gold pulling with ease through the muck. So mighty, so awesome, a showdown is sure. Getting us back to the finish, who will endure? SST, muscle machines, they're big, bad, dirty, and mean. SST muscle machines sold separately, batteries not included, from Playskool.
In the early 1980s, monster trucks had begun to fill America's largest sporting arenas full of massive crowds to see their car-crushing action and over-the-top horsepower. Once television rights were acquired, the United States Hot Rod Association, the sanctioning body for monster truck racing, thought to add some diversity to the TV coverage with something else that was as powerful, loud, and bombastic as the monster trucks, so competitive weight sled pulling was added. This led to a slew of pulling trucks that were just as charismatic as their car-crushing counterparts. Among some of these were big legends like Misconception, One Trick Pony, and Golden Ox. One of the pioneers of pulling trucks, however, Alan Gaines's Orange Blossom Special 2 would be forever immortalized in a matching cartoon and toy in the show Bigfoot and the Muscle Machines and a battery-operated truck from Playskool. While this toy version is the focus of today's video, it has to be said that Alan Gaines, all four of his trucks, and competitive pulling as a whole are all worthy of their own video, and maybe I'll do just that over on the main channel, Cruisers Motorsports. Orange Blossom was one of four battery-powered trucks offered by Playskool in the SST or supersized truck line, and they truly went all in, faithfully recreating just a ton of detail from the actual truck, both in form and function. The chrome exhaust stacks with the stabilizers welded on them, the roll bar, the Dick Chapek tires, all wrapped up with a wheelie function to mimic its real-life pulls. Today, I have two variants of Orange Blossom to show you. The first is the international variant. Aside from years of release, some French writing on the box and the instructions, they're the same truck inside the box. Even the instructions, however, are quite interesting. Aside from showing regular operations, they even show you how to detail up Orange Blossom even more with model paint. It gives a brief history on the truck, and the American version even has a form to send out to order a t-shirt or an Orange Blossom poster. Perhaps there was a problem with the US versions being sent to other countries because on the order form for the US version it states no foreign currency. Sadly, Playskool's Orange Blossom came with one major defect, and it can be traced back to its wheelie feature. To get the truck to wheelie, you had to set the truck in reverse and let this rear switch back into something. This switch was responsible for immediately shifting the truck into forward. However, with no weight on the back of it, it would simply just surge forward, with all four wheels still on the ground. Kids doing this in repetition would eventually strip the plastic drive gear, so even if the circuitry lasted the test of time, essentially the transmission was blown. the electric motor still operating but not being able to move. This is the reason why the bulk of Orange Blossoms on the secondary market are simply sold as parts trucks because of the stripped plastic drive gear. The original plan was to put the well-used truck on a dirt track and have it pull the sled. However, as you can see, the plastic drive gear problem plagues my American version as well, and I'm not running the next to new one in the Florida sand. While Orange Blossom wasn't pulling a sled, he did have a free-roaming drive mode. This drive mode operated simply as any other battery-operated vehicle did in the 80s that wasn't remote controlled. Oddly enough, the front wheels do have kind of a suspension feature with the axle moving up and down, moving one wheel up and in turn moving another wheel down. This, however, didn't do any good as the truck had very little ground clearance, so it wasn't going to be driving over things like your Bigfoot truck would. Like most toy lines, Playskool's SSTs had an accompanying toy commercial, cartoon. Orange Blossom in the cartoon was piloted by Professor D, whose backstory was that he was actually a professor until he was lured into the world of competitive truck pulls. Professor D, along with his pet armadillo, Dilly, I can't make this up, accompany Bigfoot and the other trucks on their adventures. Bigfoot and the Muscle Machines aired in 9-minute segments for a total of 53 minutes of the entirety of the show. It aired along with Robotics and Gem and the Holograms. A few noteworthy details: a discrepancy between the two is the design of the train on the doors. This design on the box is the one on the toy. However, this design is on the side of the actual Orange Blossom. Also, on both the toy and its cartoon counterpart was the inclusion of the Chevrolet bow tie insignia. While in the 80s the brand name Chevrolet was prominent on toys, the bow tie insignia was not. To see it featured on the truck in both the cartoon and the toy iterations is quite rare. Even though the proportions of the bow tie were kind of off, that more than likely had to do with copyright, it was still a treat to see. Being released in 1984 makes these trucks more than 40 years old now, and while used or non-operable examples can be had inexpensive on the secondary market, working and mint-in-box examples are rare, and it's thanks to the surge of battery-operated trucks from the 1980s, started by shopper stompers. Prices keep increasing. $20 to $50 for parts or heavy playware trucks, $50 to $90 for working, $100 to $200 for mint in box, and $250 plus for mint in sealed box, which is extremely rare. As for the real-life Orange Blossom, it still exists and does 1 or 2 shows a year. Sadly, its creator and driver, Alan Gaines, passed away in 2018. The current owners who bought it off of him, though, keep the truck in original condition. What kind of memories do you have with Orange Blossom? Did you have the toy? Did you see Orange Blossom compete live? Do you remember him from the cartoons? Tell me in the comments down below. I really want to hear you guys' stories. If you like this episode, please support the channel by giving it a like, sharing the video, and consider subscribing for future toy videos. Thank you for watching.